Hello everybody, it is LB 3-Point Man, and I am back again with another draft profile video. This week we are doing Michigan defensive tackle Maurice Hurst. First off, we're going to take a look at his combine performance. Hurst is undersized for a defensive tackle, checking in with a below average height and weight, which also comes with short arm length and wingspan. Of note, all these athletic measurements we're going to be looking at were at a pro day, as he was diagnosed with a heart condition it wasn't cleared to test until later. He flashed average athleticism with a solid 4.98 40-yard dash, a 31-inch vertical jump, and a 7.71 second three cone. Overall, these are fairly average numbers for a defensive tackle, but for a player as undersized as he is, you would have liked to have seen more. Now let's look at his stats for his 2017 season. Hurst had 59 total tackles, 13 tackles for a loss, 5.5 sacks, 2 passes defensed, and 1 forced fumble. Overall, good numbers for a defensive tackle. Double-digit tackles for loss his final 2 years in college, which is very good, showing consistent disruption. Now we are going to go to the tape to see some of his strengths and weaknesses. Now, the first strength we are taking a look at is how his low pad level allows him to maintain leverage and position against even much larger offensive linemen. Small stature for interior defensive linemen can often be a strength, as it allows them to get underneath the pads of the offensive line, which helps them win the leverage battle. If we look at this play here, we can see the offensive lineman is trying to drive Hurst back. Hurst is able to stonewall him and get an arm in on the tackle. The next strength that we are looking at is how he always keeps his eyes up and tries to get his hands into the quarterback's passing lane. If he senses that he won't be able to impact the play as a rusher, he watches the quarterback and tries to get his hands up. He won't be as effective at it as a Carlos Dunlap, whose size and wingspan makes him a monster at it, but he will stop a passing play occasionally and it shows good awareness. If we look at this play, we see him trying to get to the quarterback, and he ends up in the air before the quarterback even throws the ball, resulting in the block pass. The final strength is how quickly he is able to get upfield after the ball is snapped. He's often one of the first to react to the ball being snapped and is extremely quick out of his stance. This allows him to build a good amount of power going downhill towards the offensive lineman. If we look at this play here, we see him fire out of his stance and just completely bully the poor offensive guard into the quarterback. Looking at it from the other angle, we can tell that the offensive lineman just isn't ready for Hurst, who got there so quickly, and Hurst is able to push him right back into the quarterback's lap. Now we will be looking at the weaknesses for Hurst. The first weakness that we will be looking at with Hurst is that he needs to develop more secondary pass rush moves after his first fails. Overall, Hurst needs to develop more moves, as a lot of his wins come from his first step speed and his power, and adding some good pass rush moves could prove deadly. If he doesn't get a clear win off the snap, you'll rarely see him continue to push the offensive lineman back. In this play, for example, we see the offensive lineman largely stop him, and Hurst fails to generate much movement after, even if the quarterback was pushed towards him. Now let's take a look at Hurst's final weakness. Despite the strength mentioned earlier of his low pad level, Hurst's size would occasionally cause him a problem on tape, as he could get overpowered and pushed out of plays. This is a bit of a nitpick, as it happened rarely, but you'd prefer it not to happen at all, as it can create problems. If we look at this play, for example, number 78 for Ohio State is able to completely stop him at the line of scrimmage. Now we are done with strengths and weaknesses, and we will do a pro comparison for Maurice Hurst. My pro comparison for Hurst has been a bit of an underappreciated player in the NFL despite great play. My pro comparison for Hurst is Green Bay Packers defensive tackle Mike Daniels. Hurst is on the same level as an athlete as Geno Atkins or Aaron Donald, which doesn't mean that he won't succeed like those two have. He will just have to win in his own way, as a player who uses low pad level to consistently hold his position and get into the backfield. Well, that's it for this draft profile. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. LB 3-Point Man, out.